You play Cabina?
No.
What I kind of have to do a little bit different between that deal, kind of go through the logical progression we've been talking about, stuff versus running game. And kind of start with the most important, which is the up front guy. The little guys in the back end just run around. We talked about the guys up front. Again, we're a 3-4 team. Our defense has been structured that way. If you're not familiar with it, we play very little Okie type look. We play a little bit, and I'll kind of get into that. We play more reduction defense, generally to the split side, almost always to the split side. Over the last 2 years, our reduction defenses have averaged about 2.2 yards per snap. And that's with all coverages on average, which is very good. And that's been kind of the identifying factor of our defense in areas. Norfolk, right?
No.
Where'd you?
We'll talk later.
You relate to the yeah. Anyway, that's where we started and been a reduction side defense, which whether you play a 4-3 or a 3-4 and you reduce and play under defense, that's the same thing we've been doing in our defense. What I want to do is kind of talk and go through responsibility and let you ask questions about what they are, and so make sure if you have any questions, you speak up. The first thing is the nose guard. Our nose basically has 3 techniques. The first one being the zero technique, which means he's head up on the center, and he's going to play the front side of the center's block. Once that center defines the side that he's going to, that's the gap that's the nose guard's responsibility. And that's our definition of 2 gaps. Is whatever way that center steps, now that gap is defined, the nose guard's gap. Okay? It'll be the same thing when we get to the defensive end, the 5 technique. Same thing when we get to the outside backer and 6. It's all defined that way. And so if we look at I thought if I brought a purple pen, it wouldn't even here, and I got 2 purple pens up here. If we look at the way this is diagrammed, you got you have the 0, okay? You've got a 1 inside, you've got the 2 head ups, 3 outside, 4 inside, 5 head up, 7 inside the tight end, 6 head up, which is the only one that's on the logical order, and a 9 outside. That's in the numbering scheme we use, and then your gaps below. So with the 0 then, it's going to be a head up technique in here, be a head up technique, and we're going to play the front side of the center's block. So the center steps here, we're going to beat him to that side. Center steps there, we're going to beat him to that side. We go to the next step. Any questions on that with the 0? Yeah. Depth. Depth is, and that's what I was the depth is by ability. I think in the 0, if the guy can't overpower the center, if he's having trouble at all, he wants to get him, he wants to back himself off the football. And that'll stay consistent with anybody that's playing our 2-gap football. Okay? He doesn't want to get too snug to the football, so he wants to give himself to extend, to react and extend and get to the front side of the center. And if you get too snug to the ball, then you end up behind the center all the time, and they're going to cut your defense. Okay? They're going to cut your defense. Then you might as well put him in a backside technique, which we didn't use much of. We used it occasionally when we're going to rush 5, and it's a single back set, and the remaining back was covered by one of the inside backers. Then we give the nose a backside technique because of the fact that the front side backer will go ahead and scrape the ball, and we call that technique tough. But 0 is a base. All right. Does that answer? All right. Next thing would be gap. And in gap, all right, as we got in our stance in the tilt, if this was the center here and line of scrimmage right here, just say that's square. and I'm going to be in here, I'm going to be in this stance here. And on gap, I'm going to step with my gap side foot into the gap. I'm going to step with my gap side foot into the gap. Okay? And he's going to penetrate into that gap. Keep his pads down and penetrate. Now, our reason for playing a lot of tilt defense is to try and take 2 blocks. One, ensure the offense right away. We're going to take 2 blocks. We're going to define the gap for everybody else on defense. Okay? So we're in the gap. The next technique is plus. Now he's going to step with his inside foot, and he's going to step into the junction of the center. Okay? And that's plus. So we have 0, gap, and plus for the nose guard, and then possibly a tough out of the 0. So those are your techniques there. Now, with the gap technique, a more penetrating technique, and obviously the negative of it is what? Anybody? There you go. Boom, boom. They're rubbing, knock him off. That guy, he just rubs long enough for that guy to get on you, and they try and get you cut. They try and get your defense cut. Okay? So if you're playing a big side, open side run team, where you're mixing it up, open side and closed side, then you want to be a little bit more conscious of playing plus. Because in plus, he's playing into the center, and they complement each other. Now, if you only can play one of the 2 techniques, and you don't want to burden your guy with 2 techniques, I would say you'd want to play plus. Okay? You'd want to play plus, because it'll give you more of what you want. Because he's still stepping into the front side of the center, he's still controlling the center, which means the guard still has the blocking for them to run the ball to the tight end side. Okay? They've got to still use 2 in order to block you. So I would use plus if you're only going to have one of the 2 techniques. Because I'm stepping into the center. Any split type running play, which is the big play these days, is what we call plunge play, where he reverses out and hands the ball. Everybody on offense teaches that back getting the ball to redo. Huh? They teach you to read the first guy on the closed side of the center, right, which would be the nose guard, because he's tilted that way. And if the nose guard shows up this side, where's the ball go? Cuts back, right? You teach that guy to cut back behind it, and they're trying to rub these guys off the ball over here, boom, and climb up to the backer. And this guy, they're cutting off your backer or your end with this blocker here. So, and that's the play everybody runs, split slow play. They can run out of I, they can run it from single back step, but it basically block the same. Okay? But we'll show you here in a second. Let's go through the linemen where we're going to get the help by those backers. Okay? So we'll hold that thought. Let's go at the ends real quick, and then we'll get into the backers. All right, now your defensive end. You've got a 5 technique, which is head up the offensive tackle. For him, it plays just like the 0 technique does for the nose guard. It's a 2-gap technique, but once the center steps in direction, the gap is defined. Okay? The gap is defined, or the tackle. Tackle steps to the right, now your end's in the right side, inside gap. Tackle steps to the left, he's in the left side gap leverage. So again, he's coming off the football, inside hand down. He comes off the football. He wants to get control, beating that guy to the spot. Doesn't want to have to get in there, wrestle with the guy, and then have to cross back. He's coming off and he's holding leverage in that gap. Somebody else has the gap, inside or outside again. All right? And that's the definition of our 5 technique. The next one is a 4 technique, where he's going to be an inside responsibility. Okay? So again, he can basically, we try to keep the alignment the same, where it was head up, but he had the inside gap. All right? So he'd be inside gap with the tackle. All right? And then the last one was a 3 technique, where he's on the outside shade of the guard. Okay? He was on the outside shade of the guard. And and that his responsibility is, and the 3 is I want to come off the football, take something off the guard. If he's trying to climb up on the inside backer, that weak backer in there, I'm going to take a little bit off of him. I'm not going to save his life, but I'm going to take something off of him. We don't want him running around the corner there. We want him to take something off that guard as he's coming off the football. All right? And that way, if they're slipping the other way and zoning the other way and trying to double and rub on him and climb to the backer and going to the open side and running any type of bobsled or anything like that, he gives you, he's coming off the football the same way all the time, that the tackle has to stay on him or he'll make the tackle. Okay? And again, what I'm talking about with those guys, when we're in the 5, he steps here, I'm stepping here. He steps here, I'm stepping here. When I'm in a 4, I'm coming off inside gap. Inside gap. If I get outside reach, I'm just walking it inside out. Not trying to cross back across the space. Don't ask the guy to do 2 things at once. He can only do 1 thing. And that's why once it defines down here in the 5,
You slide it down, Coach?
once he defines it here, we're in that responsibility and stay there. When he defines the cutoff here, we're in that responsibility and stay there. And with the 3 technique, again, he's coming off the football, and I'm coming off there outside half, and I'm defending the B gap. Okay? If he tries to work inside of you, we're coming off again. Hopefully, we're slowing his progress just a touch, and now we're getting pinned down the line of scrimmage. But we can't save this guy. This guy's got to get to where he needs to get to defend this gap. Okay? Based on the backfield set, we'll get into those. Okay? So if you go through again, the same thing with the defensive end. If he's struggling in the 5 technique, back him off the ball. So he gets used to coming off and reading that guy's flow and beating him to the spot. Beating him to the cutoff. Same thing. Okay. Yes.
On your 4th technique, Coach, when he's charging from a 5 to a 4, is he in the guard?
What we had him do,
In case that guard pulls out center or something.
more if you block down, you want him to be able to keep finishing inside. Okay? Make sure that he collapses the block. Yeah. Because what will happen when the nose is here and he blocks down and now they're running the lead play here. So this backward responsibility, which I'll hit all these things here in a second, but he is going to be stepping, he's going to be in a straight responsibility because he's got a 4 and a 0. So his gap is basically C gap. So once this guy blocks down, then we want the end to go ahead and collapse. And so he'll be the guy that will literally be spilling the lead block.
So you ask him to really see what that guard's doing.
We want to come off and feel the guard. Okay? We want to come off and we feel or keep vision and see the guard, then we can come off inside. All right? If we feel the guard pulling outside, we don't want him to pop right across the hole right now because the back is across there. Okay? We want to keep the gap integrity we have. Once the football crosses outside, then he can go ahead and cross outside. Okay? But what should happen on that type of play, if they pull this guard and he's blocking on our end, we should pick up the nose guard almost like a stunt. If they pull the guard outside, we should pick up the nose guard going free because the center shouldn't be able to get in. Okay? Does that make any sense? And put it on you. This question was, if the guard pulled outside, we're off here, we're inside, now we ought to pick up the nose, kind of working behind that guy. So if we're coming off the football, we don't want to get collapsed inside. So if anything, we'd rather have him be inside and pick up the nose guard flowing behind him.
Was it realistic? Did he ever get a chance to maybe make that guard bounce deep?
Yeah, that's not realistic on that guy. Yeah, on that tackle, that's probably not a realistic thing. Okay? So we got 0, gap, plus, for the nose guard, 5, 4, 3 for the end. Okay, to bridge the gap now, the outside backwards technique now is fit right with the other player. And how you got to understand this, is if the defensive end is in a 5 technique or a 4 technique, then our outside backer is in a 6, which is head up to tight end, or a 9, which is a backer force alignment outside the tight end. Okay? If the defensive end swims in a 3 technique, then the outside backer's alignment is a 7 technique, which would be either on air or inside eye underneath the tight end if it's a second tight end, or a tight end to him, and you had a 3 technique inside. And that all works together. So if we taught the defense, we'd say, your defensive end is in a 3, and I know as an outside linebacker I'm in a 7. All right? I know as an outside linebacker I'm in a 7. Your defensive end's in a 5, and all you got to do is tell him the coverage, and he knows he's in a 6 or a 9 based on the coverage, if the defensive end's in a 4 or 5. And that all, fits together with what we're doing. We kind of already talked about it, but let's again review the outside backer. If I'm 6, I'm head up. I want to be a parallel stance. Okay? If I'm 7, we're going to be a slight inside shade and still with a parallel stance and be on the inside eye if there's a tight end to me. Okay? And I've got the C gap. So if the guy comes off and reaches me, I'm going to be walking him inside out. I'm not going to cross across his face because my gap is C gap. Somebody else is in the 4th position outside me, whether it be a safety, all right? Most of the time it would be, or a corner on the weak side of a weak side half, okay? So somebody else is in the 4th position, all right? And then if we're in a 9, all right, then I'm going to be my inside foot on the outside foot of the tight end, okay? My inside foot on the outside foot of the tight end. And that was the alignment we gave, okay? Doesn't have to worry about down block, inside, or even a 9 technique, back and forth, or a term we used also in our man-to-man Bronco force. Okay, now, with their stance for the outside backer, because the quarterback or the offensive guys are taught to look at that guy's stance, want him to vary his stance. So we may be head up in the 6 technique, and then walk out and get his backer force. In the backer force stance, he might show as a rush position stance, where he was rushing and he'd have his outside foot back, because that's the best way a guy can get his outside foot back and rush. That's the best, most comfortable stance for him to rush from. But we might be playing backer force. But we started out showing cloud, and then we moved out here and we got to this stance like we were rushing, and then we're playing backer force. We started out here in backer force with our inside foot back, as we talked about earlier, and then we walked down the head up and we played cloud or sky force. Okay? And so we wanted to switch and vary their alignments. So that the quarterback or the tight end or whoever's looking at them on offense doesn't know their responsibility based on the initial stance they line up in. Because we are going to be somewhat predictable with our stances, and and stance is very important for that guy to execute his job as a technique. We want them to show different things prior to the snap, or even when they're outside, they can do it within. Yes,
Will you play the 5 and the 5 in the split inside, or you always reduce the split inside?
we played some 5 ends.
Will you widen him when he's on the split inside, or you still keep him head up?
We'll keep him head up. We'll play some what we call wide 5 occasionally, but most of the time if you head up, because we play with open side, we want him to, or close side, want him to cross the face. All right, we wanted to have the same. And in a wide 5, he didn't have responsibility to cross the face. He had to see that. Okay. So does that all kind of flow? Yes.
I don't know if you're going to get into this, but how about seeing on the boots and stuff with the 5 technique, he's trying to get across the face.
Yeah. No. That's where you're going to be real weak. You're not going to be quite as good in contain on the bootleg. Now I'll show you how we cover it here. We've got an overlays over here, and I'll keep going to come back over there. Let's put them in the universal bootleg formation. I got them big enough. I've got so big they can't get into the split wide. These big guys. All right. He's playing the Cowboys, and he's got all these big guys. All right, we're playing a 5 technique, and they're going to boot, and they're going to slip us inside, right? They're going to zone away. Now he's going to go to the flat. He's got contained by rule, but he's inside. What we have done on those type plays, we have given the outside backer the responsibility, particularly if we're in cloud or sky fort, even if he's a dropper, we've let him go and take the play. Because say we're in cover 2 over here, we give the corner the responsibility of the flat. This backer here, we're going to get action away and then boot. He's going to take the first crossing receiver. The corner can help him deep the shallow, but he's going to take the flat, and the safety's going to overlap the play number 1. So you really only need 4 droppers when you're playing the bootleg scheme, all right? Because you're wasting a guy. There's a guy that's not going to cover anyway, and you're going to lose this dropper anyway. So you got to pick up this guy on the deep crosser. You got somebody in the flat on the shallow level. You got this, and then you got the other safety in the corner working on those 2 guys. So basically against bootleg schemes, and that's sort of on story. Right, I was right there, no way to see a thing, huh? Ernie, you're in charge of that. You have one job to do it. You can't do it right the first time. How do you have time to do it again? All right, so we basically, versus the bootleggers, we played the play. And we taught our guys that concept again. Again, it's not always the best, but you know, we always know how we're going to play the play. And whoever has the flat is going to be responsible to play the first shallow receivers. And then the outside player, the backside hook defender is going to wheel and take the crosser, and then we're going to cover the rest with the secondary as they play their 2D or 3D scheme, no matter what we're in. Okay? The toughest thing is if we're in a man coverage, or something there or something we don't have a guy in the flat, then we just got to down to that end. The other thing we did, if we were getting a lot of that, we saw X games, we didn't do much off the close side, where we stepped in and got it around. So we covered it for the game, particularly off the split side. We're getting a lot of that out of the split side, and we just ran the X game and brought the end back behind the back, and that was good for us. But you do have to have an answer for it. And the other answer for it is just put your end, if you're getting a lot of that, just put your end in the wide side, just exchange gap with the back, which is what we're going to do right now, and look at the inside back. Our guys all play left and right. The only we played the only people on our defense that have flopped have been our inside linebackers. We've had a tight inside linebacker, and we've had an open side inside linebacker. And everybody else in our defensive team has basically played left and right. At times when we had Rod Wilson playing, we would flop Rod based on the receiver. We wanted to get him matched on certain receivers. But other than that, everybody played left and right. The safeties also should. Safeties play strong. But for the most part, if you can play left and right, I think it's an advantage to that, particularly because guys are pass rushing from the same side, and we used to work and move and so forth to the same side. I think it's very good, you know, that way, as opposed to flipping guys. Okay, if you didn't stand all the time and playing the block.
They're doing a lot of reading.
Again, the other side of that.
That's cool. That's cool in the attack.
Kingston told me, Kings River Tigers told me, you know, we were playing split side and close side running game. But we prefer them to be in the same stance, playing on the same side of the body.
But if you're just not gonna go to a gap,
All right.
you're gonna read the block.
Linebacker.
That's like a zone block by an old lineman, you know?
The first thing is basic.
Again, if you look at the films all week.
All right. And basic technique, it meant your nose guard. Anytime your nose guard was in a 0 and your end was in a 5, then you had a basic technique, which told you your alignment is going to be 2.5
high school kids
to
or
3
JC
yards
guys do what
off
pros
the
do.
offensive guard, and you're going to play the front side of the guard. So now we're saying the nose is playing 2-gap football, the end is playing 2-gap football, and so is the inside linebacker playing 2-gap football. And that's why we got him up there close to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't need any depth, because all we're going to do is have a war at the line of scrimmage all the way across. And we should have everybody like this across the ball. Okay? Everybody should be like that across the football on the floor. That's what we're going to have there. Okay? Now, when we get the nose guard in a tilt or some sort of plus technique to the open side or closed side, or you put positive technique to the A-gap to the tight end, the technique for the inside backer with a 5 technique or a wide 5 end is gap. And in gap technique, that meant if he has B gap closed and A gap away. And that's the gap technique. Just taking off the technique name of the defensive nose guard. Now, if your end is in a 4 and your nose is in a 0, then our technique is straight. And that's when we back up. In gap, his alignment was 4 yards deep to 4.5 yards deep. In the base alignment is offensive guard, but all of these will vary by formation and coverage. His key would be a backfield key primary, unless we're in some sort of man coverage where we got a key coverage. Okay? So his key would be a backfield key primary. All right? Any questions there? Back, so it's the fullback, so it's near back, it's the offset back to the tight end, and if it's far back, it's the at-home back. And again, that's based on the running plays that they run. If you play a team that gets as far back, and the far back always takes you to the ball, and you can go ahead and keep the offset back. But a lot of times they'll run split action plays. If he's looking at the far back, he'll be stepping here, and they'll be running the ball to the tight end side. Okay? All right? The next technique would be scrape. Again, that's put the defensive end in a 4 and your nose in a 0. And so now he's basically scraping. He's got C gap close to him. He's got backside A gap away, just like he had in 0. Okay? Or as a space 0 technique nose. Put it behind the nose guard and play away. Okay? His alignment depth there is going to be 4 to 4.5 yards deep once again, and it's going to have a backfield key primary. And then the last one, or as far as the base goes, would be bird. And then the bird technique, his alignment is going to be on the offensive tackle somewhere based on formation coverage. His depth is going to be 4.5 to 5 yards deep. His key is going to be backfield key primary. His responsibility, play to him. He's going to scrape and stack the outside linebacker or the under end. Okay? Run away from him, he's got the A gap backside. Okay? And so, again, by defining their technique and put the name on it, you can toward them their alignment, their responsibility, their depth, and their key. And I think if you can coach your linebackers that way, and all your people that way, for that matter, it makes things very easy for you to correct and to teach a young guy and have a young guy come in and develop. All right? It also helps us when we got to take a guy off the street on Tuesday and getting ready to play by Sunday to back up a bit. Okay? Because everything is kind of hopefully in a lot of time. All right? Now, to go along a little further with the outside linebackers, you got to give them pass responsibilities and run force. Okay? You got to give them pass responsibilities and run force. And those supports also, in our case, were also based on their coverage responsibility, whereas you see later on, their coverage responsibility dictated their force and told them what force they had. We'll get into that later. But sky force told me I'm in a 6 technique. We also give a signal where the secondary, the patrol safety would say sky, 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 or say free safety, and then the outside backer co-signs it back with the sky signal to him so he knows the force. Okay? So we had sky, 6 technique, we had cloud, where he's the 6 technique and head up, and then we co-signed that, we had a signal for cloud, 5th. Read is on the back side of the slot formation. Playing cover 3 over here, for instance. And we know basically away from it, you got a strong safety guy on one side, your backer away from the strong safety has to have what? You got to have the flat. So he's basically a pro flat player. Anytime there's no wide number one, then his force is read. All right? If they would motion out this back out of the backfield, we're still going to play three coverage to the left. Now we got to move the backer force alignment from the read force alignment. So that was just a part of a segment of backer force. If you don't have a wide number one, then you have to be in read force. What read force tells you is I'm head up to tight end. If the tight end inside the 60, it turns into sky or cloud for me. If the tight end base blocks me, it turns into sky or cloud. If the tight end arc releases, now it turns into backer. I've got to squeeze the next block because I don't know where that corner is going to be at. I'm not throwing the ball to anybody. All right? I've got to squeeze the next block. And that's what the definition of read force is. Okay? And then we have backer and bronco force. Backer where we're outside, inside foot, the outside foot of the tight end. Backer also defined as any number to my side, I'm going to walk and play him. All right, so any number to my side, the motion to trip, I walk and play on number 2 on the backer force. That's my job. Okay? That's my job. And I should have said that also for cloud force. Any number to my way in cloud force, I walk and play inside eye on number 2. So that's my job. I've got cloud force. Okay? Bronco force was a derivative of backer. So when we were playing man-to-man coverages, man-to-man defenses, because at that point we didn't want the outside backer to leave the tight end and go to a number 2. He would always stay on number 3 or the down tight end position. And the safety would make adjustment to the outside number 2. And so that is Bronco force, which is a derivative of backer. Defined it now we're in the man coverage. You play Bronco and the motion of trips, you stay in there. You don't have to adjust. Okay? You don't have to adjust. All right? Now, any question on the backers and the force responsibilities there? Let's go through the inside backer. Could you
Draw an example of backer force delivering the trailer.
Okay. There are trips. There's really no way they can run the football back to the open side, so we go ahead and block the linebacker. All right? Now, most of the time, if we were in backer force here, then we'd be doing something where we're bringing the safety up in there, so we wouldn't really have to, the backers wouldn't have to cheat quite as far, because we'd be dropping away, or we'd be rushing one of these guys, and we'd be dropping that guy. So, again, based on the formation, when you go to trips, then we're bringing the safety up inside. The safety is a hook pro defender.
You cheat that in to
No, we don't have to. Sometimes maybe you want to. If the dog they were doing was running the ball that way, then you could do that, but we didn't necessarily do that. We didn't want to have, and again, if that's all you're going to play, we didn't want to have a lot of checks at the line of scrimmage for players to move from one technique to the other. Because as soon as they motion it back, you don't want him over there. You don't want him out in the wide 5. And then you have to take that communication and bring it back. And again, we try to, that's what we talked about earlier, eliminate the gray area. We want to have gray area for that guy. Again, it may not always be the best way, and maybe you'd say, well, 8 times out of 10, that's the best thing to do. But the 2 times it's not, when they motion the ball back in here, and start the ball back here, and hand the ball, and you want to get back, and he's out here, he's gone to that gap there, now you've got an open gap, you've got back and forth there. Now, the safety could make that play, but you'd rather have the end squeezing it down one more gap, and then the safety making the play in the C gap. Okay? As far as getting your 8th defender up in there. Now, as we coach, and we'll get into this more with the perimeter stuff, we coach this safety. If we're playing a backward force defense where the safety's working up one side or the other, and you could work him up weak side, it's the same. And now you want to boss your linebackers over. Okay? Say we wanted to bring the safety up. over here, boss the linebackers over, we can bring the safety up here. Now you just boss the linebackers over. So everything they're doing is we're working on an 8-man haul, okay? A good example of this is here. If you're going to rush 5 guys, there, put your corners on the wide out, and they got a single back set. Strong safety's got to cover that guy, he's got to cover that guy, and he's got to cover that guy. When you line up in your Eagle defense and you're trying to play a weak side role, involving safety strong, or anything you're doing, you're playing as just a version of that all the time. Maybe bringing the safety down this way, and now you're bringing the backers this way. And once these inferior guys begin to work together, you get everything lit. So our version of what I've got there is half the field, backer, strong safety reading on the tight end, corner inside technique man, and all of that is the same thing I got drawn on the top. Okay? And once those guys get the picture of those two defenses being the same, then your whole 8-man principle works. And we may have, we could have a defense where he motions over here, now we bring this safety up, now we bring these back here, he comes back here, we got the same thing, and we just slide and work the Boston or Boa based on where the 8th defender's coming up inside the box. Okay? So that you're always keeping your people into the 4, you always work the 8-man up into the box. And for these linebackers, which 2 years ago, this guy was a rookie, but he's not in his first year, they had to get this principle, okay? That no matter where the safety goes, I move away. Even though they motion this way, I don't move through the motion, I actually take a step away because the safety's coming up to me. And that's how you're defending the run. You always got an extra defender for them to block. And particularly a defender that they're not counting on blocking. Okay? Yes.
Do you worry about matchups? I was looking at the one we had to clip to the tight end side and have a background of a wide receiver.
Yeah, you got to worry about matchups. I mean, there's no question. You got to, but what you got to do is you got to tell them what kind of move this play. If we're in cover 2, say for instance, where we walk away like this. The weakness to cover 2 is where? All right, here and here. Okay? So you're doing everything you can to protect those 2 areas. All right, this corner is reading there. He gets that guy up, he can play softer. That guy comes to the flat, he can harden it in place to play harder in there. You get him up the field vertically, we got him running and carrying. We got the safety split these 2, because the corner, if he gets all 3 vertical, he's going to play soft and run. So his way, you're coaching to the weakness. And the thing that I'm saying is you got to tell your players where the weakness of the defense is. Because every time you put something out there on the field, there's a weakness to it. No matter what you say, there's a weakness. And if they understand where the weakness is, and on the other side, on the flip side, where the strength is, and where we want the football to go. In cover 2, where do you want the football to go? Right here, right? Or right here. You want to throw it where you got the guy. Throw it underneath there where we got 5 guys rallying to the ball, or throw it in the deep half field where that safety has a chance to make a break on it. And you're coaching everybody else to defend the weakness areas. You're coaching the hell out of those weakness areas. And every time you get them to throw the ball in the weakness area, defending, that's not for us. We want the ball to go up here on the half field. And so by what I'm saying is, when you walk that linebacker away, you got to tell him what you want him to do. You know, you want him to funnel the number 2 receiver inside or outside based on what you're telling the safety in the corner. And as long as those guys are working in the same pace, you know, you kind of you coach to the weakness of the defense in that matchup that you're talking about. My opinion, put that linebacker out there versus the wide receiver. What's the wide receiver going to do? But he's going to try to do what? He's going to try to avoid it. And once you get him avoided, what have you done? You change his route. Okay? If he runs inside me, he's run into the next zone defender, which is helping me. If he runs outside me, I've delayed him, he's run to the corner. Okay? So just by staying in position, every time you walk the guy away, he's got to walk away with depth and width. So he's got to give himself a chance to read or run past by getting depth and width. He just can't come down the line of scrimmage because then he can only do one job. He can only reroute that receiver, or he can only play the run. He can't do both. By getting width and depth, he can do both. And I think that's important. If you walk people away, they understand how to do it. You know, how to do it. When we're in backward force, the Big Budget Clinic, I know there was a lot of weird stuff going through. We're in backward force when we walk away on the trips. Again, you know, your corner's here, your backers here, we're bringing safety up inside. Now, basically, we're dropping the backers away. Let's just say we're rushing the open guy. All right? So that's what we're working to, right? We've got to balance the zone. We're going to be 4 under, we're going to be 3 deep. All right? We're going to be 4 under, we're going to be 3 deep. What we coach that guy to do, we coach that safety, say, we're getting trips, the back's at home, that's a run formation. They've run the ball 8 out of 10 snaps last week when they were in that formation. So when we're in this and we're playing this defense, we're playing Larry's technique, make sure you get yourself up there at 6 yards. Okay? But if they offset the back over here in far, now you hang in 12 yards, so that's a pass formation. Okay? So you've taken what you feel might be a weakness of what they're doing, and you've gone a step forward with coaching your guys into, when they run that and that back's offset, now it was 8 out of 10 passes. So there's no reason for you to get up there at linebacker depth. But what have you told this guy now? Well, shoot, now you make sure when that back's offset far, you get a good chunk of this guy. You know, when that back's at home, you get ready to get back here in a fourth position, you know, out of there. So I think, again, just making them alert to what you're doing, why you're doing it. Don't have a lot of defense, because then you can't do that. You don't need a lot of defense. You have to play one thing. Let's go out and play it every snap the right way. All right? The next week we'll put in the second defense. But make sure that, you know, what you're doing is you're doing it right. Okay? That way. All right. I think where I was at. Any other questions there? Let's talk about it. What I wanted to do was talk about the inside linebacker. I think everybody understands basically. The gap technique. When we're in the gap technique, we said we got an end and a 5, so the nose is off playing the front. Well, he's going to play the front side gap. All right? Now, if he blocks down, he's going to spill the football. We talked about that last time. Okay? Most of the time, we'll have the 8th defender coming up here. If the 8th defender should happen to be away, then we'll squeeze the football inside there. Okay? Then we'll squeeze the football. If they block back, happen to run a power play in there, which we get the same. We'll work up in there and we'll spill the ball or retain it based on where the 8th defender is. Okay? But again, we'll get it up on their side line of scrimmage. All right, now, a lot of what you see nowadays, either this guy is set here, he's on the ball, or there's some sort of skill set that way. When they come off, it's the same. The guy's going to try and reach the nose, but he's going to need help. He should need help, because if he doesn't, what's going to happen when the ball starts this way? What's going to happen there? He's going to cut back, right? He's taught to read the block on the center's block, right? That's what the tailback is taught to do. He's reading off the hip of this, the guard that's depending on the defender outside the shoulder center, right? So once he reads this guy's showing up, he's taught to cut back. What we teach our linebacker to do is fall back behind the play. If the center comes off, as the back steps close, we're reading him. If we feel the guard coming off, we want to fall back behind. If we feel the guard harden on the nose guard, we got to harden the V gap. Okay? And again, we go through it. If the guard stays on your nose, we harden the V gap. But if the guard tries to zone off on me, then I know I can step back behind. I'll take my step and step back behind, because now the ball's going to cut back into the gap because the nose guard's going to be free. All right? So you're stealing your extra man. Okay? You're stealing an extra man on the offense right there. And that's what gives you the ability, particularly if you're playing two coverage, where your extra guy is coming from there. Your extra guy's coming out of the flat, instead of being a safety inside. And you're trying to get that extra defender in the running game. All right? So again, what we're looking at here is I'm coming off and I'm reading. Coach steps this way, boom. Now I'm picking up the guard. Next thing I see the backfield flow. Say I'm in here, I backfield flow, I pick up the guard, now I fall back behind. And I go right to the gap. It's got to happen. You can't wait. It's got to happen right now, because that nose guard is stepping here, and he's coming here, and he's forced it to cut back, or he'll make the tackle. All right? Or he'll make the tackle. Now, what's the next thing the offense is going to do? Well, they're going to try and bump this guy, and then climb up on you. Okay? So you got to harden it. It doesn't take no, that guy, you feel that guy on the nose, then you go. Okay? Because we still got somebody for that backside A gap. We got somebody running for that gap. That's the weak side back is running for that gap. But we're trying to pick up a bonus player by teaching that backer to fall back behind the nose guard if they're going to single block your nose guard. Because that's the reason why you're in the tilt, to tell them they can't single block your nose guard. Okay? Any questions on that? And that's the gap technique read. So you got B, the backside A. Now, you get open side flow. He's keying his fullback. You get flow this way. Boom, he's gone. They're in far back. He's keying that offset guy. You get flow this way. He's gone. Okay? So that all fits. His read is the same. That back goes open. I'm gone open. Okay, and I want to hit it. And again, you take a drill, because the next technique he has to do, Scotty, is he's got to be able to play from here, and Scotty's the center, all right, and they're trying to slip the nose, boom, here. So I got to be able to get to that, all right? And if I get caught, I want to just right through the crack of his neck right here and run him back into the hole, okay? I want to run right through the crack of his neck and run him into the hole. That's the next technique that you got to play with that. Okay, so as he comes up, I want to beat him to the spot across there. And alignment-wise, particularly if they're in, and you have the 8th defender too, you have the bonus guy too, you can get yourself in alignment where you're going to straddle that outside leg or inside leg of the nose guard based on the formation, so that you give yourself that hand. Because we don't need you that way as a tight end. We're playing that way that way. The bonus guy that way. All right, then we have the bird technique, or actually the scrape technique. And we're seeing the ends in a 4, so now we get flow this way, boom here, he's inside, and we're hardening the C gap. And we're going to play off the outside backer, because the outside backer got down blocked by the tight end. He's probably stepped down, collapsed, and spilling, and we're going to scrape right off his hip. So again, we're going to stack and replace off the outside back. It could happen this way here. We get onside back blocking, and we're working right over the top. Okay? We're working right over the top. So we're scraping over the top, and that's our scrape technique. And then the other technique is bird. Now we're saying you got a 3 technique, and your initial base alignment is on the tackle here. And you cheat by backfield set. So if we got backfield set over here, you might be more on the outside shade. You got backfield set over here, you might be on the outside shade of the tackle. Okay? Cheat by back set, and that's a bird. He's going to scrape if play comes to him, because he's going to spill the football outside. He's going to scrape here. If play starts away, now he's going to go in the A gap. Play comes to, I scrape, play away, go to the A gap. Okay? So again, I think as you see, see everything kind of fits and flows together there and puts it all in one thing. Yeah.
To read on your, for your backer, explaining the scrape technique, the tactic we call it lamb, it turns out on your port technique, it negates that charge and shear it back down. You got to change the fill inside.
You got to squeeze the next block. And what you're saying is there's a fan that opens side here. Turn out and forward with the fan on the backer. All right, now I got to squeeze this next block. Okay, because I'm not getting the down block. If I get down block, I've got to go to the spill. I get out, I got to squeeze. If my next player is the nose guard or the backer from the other side, whoever's got that A cam. Okay, so it all fits together there. All right. Okay, let's go with the tape in hell. The operator in hell more the problem. Start. All right, the first one is gap technique. We got skill. And we'll have an end zone, a sideline, and an end zone. So that'll be good. Okay, there you go. You got the down block occurring. Now we're in a 5 here. We're playing 6 coverage. We've got the bonus guy inside. Again, we're getting the spill. Want the safety to play off of that guy a little bit. Take it a little bit up the field, a little bit too far. Take it back here. Come a long way. Again, that's the play. We got lead play right at it. Our bonus player is we're playing cover 6 here, which is quarter, half. There's our quarter player coming up, reading the tight end. The end's in a 5. See the backwards field. We like to go a little bit more into out, but we see where we're making it happen in the backfield. And once the guard, you see, once they come off the nose guard, he's still able to make the play. You can't block him forever. Okay. I backs again. Boom, double team. There. And across. Look at it from behind. See back and forth. See the bonus guy, 37. Get extra look every once in a while. Yeah, you can.
Marvin, what do you tell your safety, especially if you're a guy, where would you like him to snap the ball?
We'd like him to be about 3 by 7. Snap the ball, particularly if it's a run situation. We want to be about 3 by 7. And just kind of sitting and bouncing, because again, that could hit right off the B gap, but most times it's going to hit the C gap wider, because we're hopefully going to do a good job of hitting inside to outside on the play. So we'd like him to sit and bounce and start to close up once he reads the, the tight end blocking on. Now here's examples of the linebacker falling back. See a couple examples. It's better to see from the end zone. So we're looking at 99 here. Okay, so they're running, this is fullback, belly. Should look at it here, see this from behind. Looking at 99 again. There's the nose guard stretching it, the held back puck, cut back, 99 falling back in the hole. So again, we got a bird player on the top. You see the bonus safety coming up now here. We're in seven coverage, where safety has the weak side back or it's displaced receiver, and where you see the linebacker bossed away the other way. Here's a good look at it here. So again, the nose guard, the guard's off clean, nose guard brings it back, backer can run right through that backside cap.
Wait a minute.
Looking at the top side backer.
Fullback's almost right in front of him, but that nose starts to get moved down on him, and they don't go very far to get back.
No, it just moves right to where they're basically aligned at. We look at it again from behind.
Marvin, if they were a stretch play with that, you ever feel like you lose your front side backer?
Well, and that's the good point. If they run the stretch, the one thing will be a little differently is the back step. He's not stepping here, he's going here. And the linebacker should feel the difference. And that's keeping them home. Okay? And that's a good question, because that's the next progression. A lot of times you got to play both plays. You got to play the stretch, but the backer ought to feel the difference in the footwork of the back. And that's something you're going to have to work on, is the difference in the footwork. Okay, here's a couple shots that he's playing, hitting the A gap here. And right now to the A gap, get squeezed by the bird backer, which is 94. You see your three technique there, good, everybody's pushing. 99 makes the play, he's a free defender. Okay, a couple good looks at straight. Nice job by 94 there on the block. Ah. Don't screw him up. good look at. See the scraper replacing the outside backer. Scrape here. Here's a good look at anything scraping in the seat. Okay, here's some looks at the bird technique, which means you got a free technique in. This plate is going to be going outside, so it's basically going to be scraping. Be the bottom side backer here, where the motion is coming to. We get spilled by the 7 technique outside backer, which is see from behind here. Going to sky force there. Spill there by Kevin. Chad scraping over the top. Safety playing off the Chad. Well, when they try to cut you off, I mean, that's where they want to go with the ball. We want to make sure we always make it go where they don't want to go. Okay, here we're in man coverage, 7 coverage. You see the extra player here. Backer strict right to the ball. We'll look at it here again. Here's a good look at the guy squeezing the block. Lead play at him, he's got a squeeze. Good pad level here on this shot. Here we're bringing the bonus player up inside. You can see that right here. See 39 here. So the backer, let me run this back. Bringing the bonus up, he's covering the open back. We got him down the A gap. As he said, we're going to boss the ball away. Just imagine this being a 5-man rush. Say we were rushing 5, which we're not doing here right now. Be lined up like that. And here it's hitting the backside A gap. So slow start and close here. Now he's going to the backside A gap. Better look at here. Right here. Okay, outside linebacker technique. Starting in 6. First will be a 6. We're going to be read force. Read force here. This guy's going to go in motion. We're starting backer. We move the read down here. Coming up, spill. See the move, see the signal. inside, it gets a little bit hot, but it's still a pretty good job at 27. Except for the outside. All right, back and forth. On the top there, again, we talked about changing the line of scrimmage. See right here on the top, changing it. That way we can off and make it pass. Watching here. Back and forth here, changing the line of scrimmage. Back and forth here. Changing the line of scrimmage. Okay, here you got your wing. So fit in between it, we're Bronco here, close to backer. How's that job? Bronco. Yeah, you want to create a double team. You got that guy outside, somebody's got that guy man to man, you want to create a double team. And here we go here with backer again. See how I get, we'll look at this from behind, but you see how we want to play in between. If they only block us with one, we ought to defend the ball. No, we're playing. Yeah, we're running a game. But it's 5-man man. Here's a good look at trying still to get to miss it here, but you see what we're trying to do. Tight end down, watch. Tight end down. See how the second guy's over the top. See how I try to go up through. See it from the front side again here. Get from the sideline. Tight end down. Trying to get two. Feel the guy above. See this guy's pattern. See, he's outside right now. Over here going backer. There's two again. See how we're trying to read it to get two. Good look at this from behind. Right here. Down. See, we get that guard. He can stop. Down, got to get two. Take a look at this. Right here, down, get two. On the top here. Now we're running an inside game here. We're blitzing. Inside cross, he just scrapes off of it. Okay, 7 technique, which means on the open side you got a 3 technique, so they're going to spill. You need tight end to them. Any motion. Be a good look here. I'm going to go across, spill it, change it. Bird back and take it straight right off into it. Right here, here. This side here will be spilling, squeezing, spill, make it fan, squeeze, squeeze. here, spill, it's all the way inside, makes the fun loose. Seven technique there. Seven. Seven here. Hands under me. He wants it better than anybody out there. You ever beat those guys? Again, though, when they're bringing the guy across, they're changing their running strength. We want them out of that gap. Here's a good look again. Spill is first, squeeze the second. Okay. So again, hopefully, you know, we talked about the techniques, and as you go through, you got a chance to see those things kind of in action. But I really believe it's simple as you can make things and then build upon it. Start with the foundation of what you're doing and stance and alignment, and then working into the drill progression that you develop to fit your defense. And one thing that, you know, we're in under defense, but to, you know, here, as we have gotten started over in Cleveland by way of Baltimore, Baltimore by way of Cleveland, I should say, we're going to be a 4-3 team because we have a lot of linemen and not many linebackers right now. So by rule, the only thing we've done, and a lot of you have played some over defense, and by rule, this guy's in a gap, he's in a bird, he's in a 9, playing cover 3, and he's in a 7. That's all we're doing. He's in a 3, and he's in a gap or a plus technique, depending on how you want to play it. And you got this guy either in a 5 or a wide 5, you know, over there. So, I mean, that's all we're doing is taking the same thing and flipping it over so that we can play over defense, just like we played under defense. So we have both. And still the techniques that you have are still defined the same, you know, and based on your coverage or whatever you're doing. I mean, you can play buzz coverage and drop this safety down inside, line this backer up, drop the safety down in here, and both, and that guy has to flat instead of playing sky. And one thing about, now that half the guys have left the room, when you play inside safety zone coverages, you're getting your 8th player closer to the run. When you play sky safety support, you're putting your 8th player outside the core of the defense, and your extra player is on the line of scrimmage. What I mean by that, if we're playing sky safety here, when the run breaks, the run should happen to break. Somebody falls down, they break a run. Your guy they don't block is over here. But if you're playing sky or inside safety support with the backward force concept, now the guy they don't block is over here, and he makes the tackle for 4 or 5 yards as opposed to 9 or 10. Okay, 6 yards maybe instead of 9 or 10. And that's been our theory of 8-man defense, is we prefer to do it with the safety working inside the core of the defense. Okay? because that gives you your extra guys off the football and inside, closer to the ball, running. When you put in sky, you have your extra defender, when you start the ball here, and then cut the ball back, this guy still has to be ready for reverse as far as a strong safety. Your extra guy is almost here. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're playing with just three sky with three rushing and stand backer, then it's the guy on the line of scrimmage. When they start the ball away from him and wind it back, you're asking him to make the tackle or hold to make the play. And that's the difference. We like to kind of practice it the other way. And I think if if that fits into your scheme, you'll see an advantage to it. It also helps you on play action pass, bootlegs, and that sort of thing, because you have that guy with depth that's picking up the cross receiver, as opposed to a guy on the line of scrimmage that has that hook on. So in those two things, it is beneficial to you for doing that.
So you got the safety inside, where you're getting out in the flat.
The backer.
That's just deferred back.
Yeah, deferred back. So it's actually, and you can do it. Put him inside. So what you're doing is just going to hit the lineman wider. He can start here, have the safety, have him show two, walk the safety up. Now he has the flat, so he's just working on number two. Any number two is flat, he's got to go to the flat. All right, so he's working out the flat, matching two, he's 1/3. Three safeties back, corners back here, off the wide out. Now he's got that, he's away. So you got the same thing, and you're just getting the eighth guy up into the core of the defense. Okay? So it has this advantage, obviously, doing it that way. And most of the time, they don't block that guy either. So the run, it becomes a problem for you. If they're doing this, and they're rubbing on those guys, they're rubbing this guy off, and then they're coming to your back, well, they're not counting on blocking that guy. That guy's coming up and then
You teach any your strong safety different techniques for that to cover 3 or cover 6. It's basically the same technique.
But it's a different technique because you cover, you may come about 3 buzz or cover 3
buzz or 6.
No, it's almost, well, it's a little different at 6 because you've got a deep responsibility in 6. And 3 buzz, his responsibility is not deep. You got somebody who's got to help.
Once he reads tight end block and 6.
That once the tight end blocks, then it comes the same. And that's what's good. You got a lot of the same technique, same teaching can be done all the time. Same fit versus run. And that's what you do. All right. Any other questions? Well, anybody in the room tomorrow will be a miracle. All right, thank you. Right. And now he would be an inside responsibility guy. So he's going to be inside. He's going to be an outside. So basically now we got the B gap open here. We got the C gap open here. Now with our outside backers, they run all 4s. They were down also, and they run all 4s. And they were going to execute a crawl technique through the outside hip of the tight end. They execute a crawl technique through the outside hip of the tight end. They're going to try and penetrate in this crawl technique so that I get about a point 2 yards in the backfield before I would ever come off of all 4s. So what it would kind of look like if I get over here where maybe people can see a little better, I'm going to be in all 4s, I'm keying the ball inside, and I'm the left guy right now. You want their hips in the air so that you see, if you're looking at us from over there, you see only the top of the numbers. You don't want to see the top of the numbers there. And I want to come here on the snap of the ball. I want to step here, boom, 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 and scramble up through. Okay? So that I'm penetrating, and if that tight end's trying to come off, I should be taking him back into the backfield by being underneath him with leverage underneath. And again, it's keying the ball inside, beating into the punch, taking an open step with that outside, and then bringing it to follow from inside to outside and penetrating up the field. Okay? The support people are basically if we have a wing to us. And now this guy can be a little wider with the wing. If he's got a wing to him, this backer here can be just slightly wider. The support people are going to be about 1 by 1. If he's got a guy to him, or almost a half yard maybe, he's going to be pretty snug to the ball, but about a yard outside. And he has got a key and read through these two people. Because either of those two people release it, he's got to play that as a pass. Okay? Either of these two releasing, he's got to play it as a pass. The same thing the Z corner is seeing, and he's at about a head up on the, or he's going to be on the outside number, number 1 here, and he's going to be about 3 to 4 yards deep, depending on the situation. Okay? The two inside linebackers, we're going to be a minimum of 5 yards deep with the front side guy, and about 5.5 deep with the backside guy. Okay? 5 yards with the front side, 5.5 with the back side. So obviously we're hitting everything coming downfield. Now, when I'm a support and I don't have anybody to me, I can back off just a touch more. And again, that'll be a good 1 by 1 alignment on the back side there. Okay? Our coverage is banjo. So what we're saying is he's going to take the first thing outside into the flat. He's going to take the next deepest. He's going to be inside number 3. We're going to work in and out on those guys with these two over here on any flow that way. And that's the coverage we're going to play. Banjo. So again, if I were to draw it on the bottom here and draw a route, he's up the field. He's going to cushion and hang. He's going to wheel. We get this guy to the flat. Now he would work here. He'd be able to come back down. He would work there. He'd be trying to run that guy to the corner. He'd be trying to run it out here to the corner. We got play action here. Play action there. He's to the flat. He's blocking in here. He's going to be running here. He's going to try and cushion and hold and basically let the safety run. And then he can come up if he feels the safety in position. If the fullback would stay inside, then the safety would have to take the fullback. But what we're going to do is just zone the areas of the field. 2, 3. Okay? Any questions there? If we had back set over this way, for example, we got back set here. We get weak side here, boom here, here, fast flow to the flat like that. He's going to cushion and take it. He's going to have to over-under-run it. And that's the tough. This guy's got the toughest job. But again, his key has got to be that guy. That guy's going here. I'm coming right now to the tight end, getting ready to play pass. Okay? Coming right now to the tight end, getting ready to play pass. So he's got to be, yeah, the keys or misreads were at different levels, so we don't run into each other. Okay? And that was constant throughout the defense. All right, so we got the backer back in here. We're in there with this guy, and that's how we're going to play the pass action. Now on the runs, again, you got your gap responsibility here. So he's hitting it here. He's backside. He's inside. He's here. He's folding in that gap. He's always the top-off guy. So if you get isolation play, he spills it. He's your extra player as the corner. He's outside squeezing it. Boom, ball's coming in here. He's going over the top to top it off. Safety's out. Z corner's outside in. He's spilling the ball. So that's how you get your extra guy. We got a spill, top off, extra player, fold. Okay? And that's how it kind of works out. All right, so you get the extra guy to the football. If they should happen to run the ball the other way, maybe even again, we got tight. Let's just say we still have tight this way. So we're up here, we're in here. We're in here now. He's going to squeeze the ball because he's got the Z corner away from him. He's working here. He's now the top-off guy. He's squeezed. You still have the support man able to fill both sides working there. Like that.
Just in the corner with him when they motion
If
across?
they motion across, yeah, the Z corner would just run. he runs in front of the backers because they've got such depth. He runs in front of the backers. He gets ready to set up. The support knows he's got the first thing to the flat, so that guy needs to stop there. The Z corner inside. Put it down here. Backer, support, backer. Get motion across. He runs. If he would go fast to the flat, he would take it. He takes the next inside zone. Now he becomes the strong backer, was matching on 3. So anything like this to the flat here, here like this. Maybe they go there. He widens and takes the first thing. Now the Z corner would take the second thing. And now the backer would have to run underneath number 3. But you're always putting the pressure on that backer, on that number 3 guy. But you should get some help for him by holding off. And if they release him right now, the Z corner may end up on him, and you may end up having to relate to the back. But that's the coaching point always, is you got to be able to get in position to cover the tight end on the corner and run underneath it. But by keying the backfield flow, if that guy comes right now, that's taking you right to the pass action, you know, no matter what they're doing. And that's the good part. So it's all consistent.
Marvin, you get longer motion by that flank, the Z corner, go ahead.
Then we would just exchange, right? Yeah, it wouldn't Z, and that's something like, if we had a wide receiver in there, then you might have an extra DB in the game. It's one of the supports. Instead of a backer as the other backer support, you might put another corner or another safety in this weak support. And that way, if it would open up that side, we'd have that guy there. Now our rule, if they opened up as a base, they opened up this, say, with a receiver, they had a receiver in the game, and we had 2 backers in there. The Z corner took it here, and all we did was we had support and support, and that backer just stood up now. Tight that way, so we're in here, tight. He's rushing, and we just had the support come over.
What if you see a single back or a trip, you know?
Single back, they would give us a single back set, and that weak side backer would make the adjustment, or we. Wing.
Well, I mean, even where they're spread out, no tight end or something, or one tight end.
Well, they got tight ends in the game.
They have maybe one.
Well, we wouldn't be in goal line defense.
Unless they...
Yeah. You wouldn't be in goal line defense unless, you know, you're looking to get that, you know, that type of, at least 2 tight ends in the game. And a lot of times 3 tight ends in the game in order to get this. But say they had this here. And all we're going to do here is just move this backer here. So it'll be like that. I got him a little bit wide. He wouldn't have to be quite that wide because he'd be on the inside. This guy would be on the outside shoulder. He'd go right here. And just balancing up. We go tight that way to make sure that he could fill that gap. And this backer now could cheat just a touch so he could hit the B gap with the inside here. Okay? Now, the next thing we did after that is goal line double core. In a double core, these guys are locked here. The Z corner has that guy, and the backers have the backs. We're going to bring the support. He's got a stationary wing. He comes to his outside hip. Okay? If I get flow away, my job is to check boot and play action before I get in the chase mode on away from me. Okay? So now we're manning up these guys. We're bringing the supports. If they would yo-yo motion, now he can spill that and go to contain. We're playing inside here. He's still in the same charge, and these guys are inside. So the gaps that are open is the C gaps, and linebackers are scraping on. Actually, this guy's going to fit inside. You know, if any doubt, he's going to play inside, and we're going to scrape over the top. Okay? So that was the first change up to goal line banjo when you feel like you're going to get, It's a good thing versus play action pass and those type of, pass actions where they feel like they got you, and now they're going to play action. Now you got the guy screaming off the back edge at him.
Oh, you've got the tight end who releases their backer.
These tight end backers have it.
They still down to 4?
Yeah, well, Kevin didn't like playing it from a 4, so he would sometimes get in 2. But I think you can do it from a 4 because you're coming up and you're getting control of the guy right now. You want to come up and get control of the guy. And whatever you feel like you need to do, but your number one job is coverage. You are now a cornerback. You can't ask him to do both things. This guy, as he comes to the football, he's going to help defend the C gap. You got to come thin enough to help that gap. Their number one job is to control and knock the hell out of that tight end and cover him. And if they do that physically, they can't worry about the running game. The only worry we have towards the running game is them coming off the ball and controlling that guy by knocking the hell out of him. Okay? Any questions there?
Both backers do the same, only the left side backer controls that tight end. The right side backer
No, they're both doing the
gap.
same. They're here. They're both doing the same. They both have the tight ends. Both of these tight end backers have.
Don't let him release.
Well, eventually you're going to get out of there, but they both have that. They have their guy. Okay?
Stay with him.
Yeah, they've got a man-to-man. Okay? Now, if they should happen to give us any type of motion, here once we're set, he just takes it, we run it. If they line up funny, then we would just check back to banjo. Any type of odd alignments, we just check back to banjo and make the adjustments we need to make. Okay? And the last thing we did is goal line bonsai. It just was like it sounds. Z corner there. We're under, bringing support, He's a scrape. These guys are topping anything off over the top. They're scraping. And it's not, when we're coaching those backers in those situations, if I'm the front side backer, I bring the football back inside, and the other guy's coming inside out and scraping with it. Okay? So if there's any doubt in my mind, I'm that front side backer, I got to bring the ball back. They run any type of running play here, I got to bring the football back. And that's very important. Any questions on that?
What if the tight end goes out to the pass, the right side?
Bonds up. I think we'll get ready to get that placement protection team or block team in there. We only hope you got to get, these guys have got to get there. If there is a pass, I'm hoping they get there. But I mean, it's again, if it's first and 1 on the 1 yard line, we may be in this defense. Okay? And we're, fourth and 1 from that half-inch line or whatever, may be in this defense.
We did do an opposite backer blitz.
No, we've never done that. We did that one time against Kansas City a couple years ago in the playoffs, and they tossed the ball and scored. That's bad. But I mean, I know a lot of people that will run the backers through the B gaps and take the tight ends with those guys, or take the tight ends just running with your coverage that way. And there's other things you can do, but we haven't done much of that because it may complement some of the other things we did. But we just, in the NFL, we have so few snaps of goal line defense. We're looking at maybe 10 or 12 a season, if that. And we've been very good at goal line run defense. Our goal line passes suffer because we play such good in banjo. We haven't played the passes well. In fact, this year I think we had 2 running touchdowns against us of 10 or 12 snaps, and we had 7 pass touchdowns of 10 or 12 snaps. So the percentage was not very good as far as defending the pass. But those were the systems we did. They were sound. What we can do now is take a little look at them on tape. Again, if you got any questions, stop me.
Marvin, Cora, both of you.
first and one on the one. But we're in banjo, I believe, here. We end up being offside. See the alignment. Now, taking this back, this is not what we want from Brad 95 here. He's kind of ad-libbing a little bit, you know, almost coming like a split. He's almost playing like and that's the one thing, you know, we get so tendency-oriented, and we tell our guys something, but we got to be right, because they're sure to help them play. If we tell the guy generally when they motion across, they're going to run the football, well, you know that he's going to play the damn thing. And here he comes. You see, this is a good look from behind. You see the alignments. Trying to change the line of scrimmage with everybody up front. Top off guy is 99, does a good job here.
March 37, he taking him on with the other shoulder.
Yeah, he better contain the ball. Let me see this kid here. See, he should, 37 should let 25 play, and he should play off of 25. Because he's the Z corner. He shouldn't be up there that quick. He should let the support man, or the support man should be more aggressive. Huh?
He could go underneath that block.
Did the wing go inside? Yeah, if the wing went inside, yes. The wing blocked inside here, blocked down inside, so now he can spill the next block. That's correct. Would you like the support man to be more aggressive? The Z corner is beating you to the punch. And this is what happens when we don't. See, this is what happens again. The Z corner becomes more aggressive. The support guy's not very good. Now we got DB in here. This is the last game of the year, 2 years ago, and we didn't play a lot of our guys. So we had DB in there instead of Greg at support. You see what happens is support's a little soft, and then the Z corner jumps up in there where he's not supposed to be. He should contain the ball.
Yeah.
See, if he contains the block there, 51 makes the tackle. But we end up spending 2 defenders for 1 blocker. Nature of the beast. Yeah,
Guard, first side guard,
Would you say the key to that would be the outside backers crawling in,
very
containing?
important. That's right. Very important if the outside backers crawl and they cause disruption and they get 2 people. And what you're doing there, yes.
Because then at that point, the tailback, he's got to make his decision. Is he going to go out or go in?
Right. And then if he goes out, you got to bubble it outside.
He goes out, he hits support.
Right. There's a good look here because it's good by the outside back on this one. We had him standing up here because we were looking for a little more pass from these guys. But he does a pretty good job of getting back or holding the point, and we just scrape across the top. Now here's a good look at when we don't get it contained right. We got everybody should hold leverage. Tight end back, it's a little bit under, but you see he's still knocking that guy back in the backfield. But we got enough guys here that if everybody contains it, see, we end up having the guy throw back. Instead of we talked about pushing the other night, push, and stay in your leverage, they got no play. But when you try to come back and do somebody else's job, they can score. Probably have tight left on here. See, 99 here gets a little bit too far inside. Now this is the bond line. Banjo. That's what I talked about here, Greg Lloyd. He knows the back set away where they're running. So he already stacked himself off the ball. Here's what you talked about. Here's an excellent job by the tight end backer. Look at this. Tight end backer on this side. See him driving that guy back? Which gives those linebackers inside a point to work off of. Now here's a great job here, just for the backers. We're getting under a little bit too far now with Kevin. Actually, this one didn't get too far. Just turned out a little bit. It's a pretty good job by the backers getting through there, and everybody hitting it. Greg coming from behind her, he's a little bit too fast, way too fast. Change of strength. Good job by the support man here. Because that guy's motioning to him, so he's still with the core guy. See corners over the top, backers scraping there, the other back is a three-player.
Now, in this play, the support on the left side, he committed, he automatically just went in.
He can go underneath and spill because the guy came in motion to
Right,
him.
which came outside of him.
Well, yeah, you got the Z corner coming outside to spill over the top of him. Again, just staying regular defense here. Now, we've had what we call a surge look, where we put the backer up on the tight end, put the end outside. We get the lineman screwed up here. We got the wrong side blitzing, so forth, they run the option for a 2-point play. split speed. And actually, we kind of got a combo glitch. We got one guy in the A, one guy in the B. Okay, let's bear with me, and I'll try and get to the go on passage on this other thing. Wasn't too bad. See, that's very painless. All right. Goal line passes. Okay, we got banjo. You'll see all it takes. The support really is not that bad, but then he loses his leverage right there. You know, he should be playing either of those two guys release, and he should be playing the wider. I'll throw and catch on this. And he gets caught up and misses that. Backer still should get a piece out of it. He should still be backed up by the support a little bit.
So you should check him out the line of scrimmage?
The backer would like to run into that fullback because he's got to skill him anyway versus the run or squeeze him based on his responsibilities. So he ought to be hitting him anyway. But the support guy ought to be able to, has got to read that that's a pass. Here's a little better job, and we should still cushion a little bit more. We're not very good with the backer because his back, once they motion over, they've created a near set here. That guy's going right to the flat. We got to go right to the tight end. And we get lucky here with Billy coming back and breaking it up. The guy bobbles it. You see, 99 now should boom, pass, go right to the tight end. He's got his eyes back in the backfield. Banjo, again, the support on the top, you see? I mean, he's in decent shape. There's a better picture. Tough job, no question about it. Tough job. See the angle of the back, he goes right to the tight end, a lot better relationship. Well, I don't think we're going to keep from defending any of these. First one to pass on the goal line is a pussy anyway. dog goal line training camp. And then first play the offense would run against us, we run it. We identify that's for what we're supposed to be tough. And the first thing we do is pass. Again, this was about the only time in our defense we played without free safety. We were zero blitz down here, just in order, because there's no reason for a free safety. Two.
The combo is the blitz.
Combos, we're going to double. We're going to double. And against these guys, I believe we were going to double the guy away from Woodson. So whoever Woodson had, he was singled up with double whoever Dion had. So that's why we got his guy running in motion. So we got the combo on him, so we're taking our free safety out the middle. And we would set those rules up depending on who we were playing. That was the last play of that game. Okay, now we're going to play with the whole player, so we're not going to combo, so we'll have an extra player and free safety. See the whole player coming up. So again, we're getting 6 people in the box. Backer's going to take the back. Once he delays, we go to inside leverage. If he were offset, we go outside leverage and use the whole player. Okay. That corner. Okay, what I wanted to do was then go down. Anybody have any questions on goal line? What I wanted to do was spend a little bit of time and talk to you about what we did in the red zone.
Excuse me, Coach. Mark?
Yeah.
If the receiver goes in motion, is that corner or support? Support stays and corner goes.
Corner goes. Corner goes. Now, unless they had the formation where I showed you with the receiver on one side, the 2 tight ends on the other, then that would be corner out, Z corner, support running. So we make that adjustment. All right. As far as red zone goes, started writing those big guys again. The basic thing we did with red zone was we're going to play what we call 2 red zone. We're going to play with tight defense. We called it tight will meet 2 red zone. Just rewind all the way to start. Tight will meet 2 red zone. And what we're going to do here, this is going to be a rip lid zone where we're going to change rushers based on strength. So right now it's going to be a rip. We're going to rush here. This backer's responsibility, he's going to play backer force now. We're going to take either 2 or 3 if he goes to the flat. Now I'm going to be responsible to take him to the flat. If he goes to the flat, I've got him. The corner is going to move and play an inside responsibility on number 1. The safety is going to read number 2. If number 2 goes to the flat, then he can look to help number 1. If number 2's up the field, he's going to be outside responsibility on that man. All right? If the fullback, the backer now, his responsibility is he has inside shallow of 2 and 3, and the safety has over the top and deep of 2 and 3. So we're complementing, kind of switching around responsibilities that we had before in 2 cover where he was always deep and he was always running. Now we're telling him he has anything shallow and inside of 2 and 3.
Are the linebackers standing?
Pardon me?
Are the linebackers standing?
As far as depth, yeah, this guy's usually going to be deeper. It's going to be 4 and 4.5 yards deep. Okay? Is that it there, Bert? Yeah, thank you. All right. The free safety over here now, he's going to play basically the weak side inside of number between 2 and 1. And the corner is going to play outside of 1, reading inside for 2 to the flat. Okay? This backer is going to play inside of 2. And again, he's inside the shallow of 2 and 3. He's got 2 or 3 to the flat, and he's basically inside of 1. Okay?
We're in cover 2 then.
We're in a 2 red zone. We're playing a little, we're cheating the coverage pretty good here.
You still cloud force, Marvin? That's
Yeah, still cloud force. We're cloud force here, we're backer force here. Yeah, we're backer force here. Okay? We're backer force here. And in this, he's playing backer, he's going to take anything to the flat, so we're inside shallow. All right, now, if we change the strength motion here, when we change strength, all we're doing is changing rusher. This backer's coming off. He's playing outside of number 2, just like the other guy was here. All right, you're playing outside of 2 here. We're going to
the backside backers rushing.
yeah, we're going to a Liz call here. This backer's moving down. He's got Liz. We're going to cloud. Now he becomes weak, so he plays outside of 1. He plays inside of 2. He's inside of 2. We're playing inside and shallow of 2 and 3. We're playing outside of 2, and we're playing basically an inside technique. He's playing over the top of 2 and 3. So we're flipping the strength over from where we were and flipping it back the other way. Okay, we're going from strong one side to strong the other. And what it's giving you the ability to do is when you get a lot of the combination routes here, the back underneath, and maybe the hook here, he's able to play that. He's able to rob that. You get this backer sitting here, and you got him working underneath. We got the outside backer working on number 2 to the flat. We got the corner and the free safety bracketing here. We got the inside backer working back on the angle route because he has no vertical threat there to worry about in this defense.
Does the free safety got deep or?
No, this safety here now becomes the deepest of 2 and 3 over here. This corner again is playing the inside technique. Once number 2 goes to the flat, now the corner can work the outside leverage because he knows he's going to pick up his free safety help.
What if both wide receivers go
vertical?
Yeah, go deep.
Yeah, if they both go vertical, again, I'll just align them in the slot here. Corner's working there. Safety's working over top of 2. This backer's going to jam 2, make him go inside. Now the safety's working on him. The backer's starting here. If he's got a back sitting inside or coming through, he's staying inside and playing him. Okay? So you get that matched up and it turns into almost a quarters type concept over there when you get 2 vertical. Okay? When you get 2 vertical. Now, what complements this, and it's really not a whole hell of a lot different than how we've been talking about playing the 6 coverage over here with the quarter. With the quarter, half. And the only difference is now we're defining that weak side corner. Instead of playing a soft technique, he's now playing more aggressive technique cover 2 here. On the weak side, we're still reading over top of 2. Now we're taking this guy to the flat. Now we're going inside here, and he's still playing inside 2 receiver hook. So it kind of complements the two, and this is a little better. If we felt like we were getting more run game, inside run, and we wanted to take care of the run, now we'd rather be reduced down. We'd rather be in this front and play 6-3. Okay? So those two kind of complement each other, and will show up, if we go through this tape, will show up the most. But tight will meet to red zone, where we're changing it. We didn't do a lot of different coverages in the red zone. We wanted to be good at the ones we did, and had a chance to match up and play the routes all the time. You know, play the combination of routes you get. Any questions there?
Marv, on the that tight will meet you red zone, on the strong side, is this, what was the difference between that coverage and quarter and half?
The only difference would be, the only difference that we would have,
What was the question, Coach?
what was the difference on the strong side of the two red zone as opposed to the quarter, half coverage? The difference of the backer buzzing is first of all the main difference, okay, because their technique there is basically the same. The strong safety's technique is pretty much the same technique. And on the weak side now, he had the same rule and over there. So it's basically a change for here and here. This coverage is a little bit more positive, the 6 coverage in the flat, where the other coverage is more read and pick up guys to the flat as they come out. So it's more quarters concept in the 2 red zone. And over here, because of the way we play our backer, that's the biggest change. That we're going to give, in the 2 red zone coverage, we're not giving that corner much help. But in this coverage, we can give the corner some help. That's the biggest difference. Biggest change there.
When you, some teams go on to a 4 wide receiver set, how would you do that?
Well, if they're in 4 wide receivers, we're going to have our dime on the field. Let's just put the back at home, per se. We would have to declare a strength. But then we're going to play the same, a version of the 2 red zone based on the strength call. And maybe we're saying the strength's there or the back stepping this way. Now we're going to go strong. He's going to go outside 2. He's going to work the inside leverage on 1. He's going to play the top off of 2 and 3, which basically he has no free threat. All right. He's going to play inside and relate to number 3. He'll take anything. If he goes to the flat, he'll take him. If he goes up the field, he'll jam and play the next inside receiver. He's going to play inside. He's going to play outside of 2, and he's going to play over top of 1. Okay, so we're going to play a soft 2 technique here. We're going to play inside here. We're going to play outside here. So we're getting the same coverage. We're just doing it with different people.
Wants to be set up for a pick. Like say the outside receiver comes underneath and does like a 20-yard out.
Now what? Remember now where you're at now. You're in the red zone. Okay. So again, you know, basically we're going to be in basically around the 15 or so on in. So you're only talking about 25 yards of field. Okay, at the most. And again, what you say, number 1 coming in?
Yeah, he was coming in like by slant. Just trying to look at the coverage.
Well, see, he's still going to be working across the top here. You still have the corner sitting and the safety still being able to bracket. As soon as number 2 goes outside, now you got the safety looking to wheel. He'll actually wheel and flip on number 1. So you still get his bracket. But again, you're talking about less field to work with. So a lot of the stuff this is good. You're matching this up closer to man-to-man when you get in the red zone. It's a basic theory. In all your zones, you want to slow your pedal down. You want to match things up closer, and that's what we're trying to get done more than anything, is to match things closer once we got down into the red zone. Take a look through a couple of these. Okay, they're in a near set, so it's strong left at the top. We're going to match with the backer on the guy to the flat. Now with number 3 going to the flat right now, the inside backer's got to carry 2, and you see him doing that. He's carrying 2 vertically up the field because, again, he has the inside and shallow of 2 and 3. And that's the inside guy of 2 and 3, and that's his first read. And number 3 is already the flat, so he's carrying it and he's running the read. Got strong left, a rip call, going to a Liz call. Here's a good look at the, like we talked today about 7 coverage with that backer, picking up the tight end crosser. Now I get the safety in this coverage because we're playing with such shallower depth. He's able to help on the pullback in the flat and come off of the crosser.
So, Marv, you know that you're clouding on that weak side because of the width. Are you saying the corner, you go with the fade, you're not going to come off and make the safety go, or how you do that?
We're going to, because of the width there, exactly right. The safety's going to have to come up and play that inside zone. If it was reduced, then we'd play harder cloud. And all he make a call there is make his own it or keep it the same.
So it's up to the safety, you got to make that call.
Right,
Why
exactly.
it's the cloud.
Right. Here we're changing strength there. We got strong left. We're going over to strong right.
That one, green isn't covering that.
They blew the call. To the end, didn't get out the contain on the right. Kevin, well, you know what? Kevin played with, he thought it was good. Did they play actually? He thought it was a screen. He actually kind of rushed, but he thought they were doing something tricky. He got the call. He ought to be rushing, yeah. Okay, here we go, and you'll see how I won't get into it. They kind of, this is a good job by them of hitting the weakness of our coverage here. The thing that has to occur here is we've got to get that backer's got to run through with that guy. And again, the safeties show up, or again, based on the split, the corner being in more of a harder cloud technique. You see, 94 now should carry the receiver all the way through. We're just getting a strong to weak crosser.
So when they saw that shallow release, would they be making a call like a China?
No, they should just call the crosser across, and we'll take the crosser with our strong player until we get it, until somebody, a defender, calls us off.
What defense was that?
This is still 2 red now.
So how come that safety's coming up? He just
Yeah, they ran
that
straight
wrong.
out.
Yeah,
He was, didn't move. He ran up the field.
yeah, he just got influenced. Well, the corner can come, see, because he's got nobody to play. Corner's in the flat, so he can come. The safety's the one that I don't think there was a silence. Okay, we're strong right, strong left. we just got to make the tackle here, obviously. Okay, here's the touchdown. There'll be more outside conscious here with the outside backer. So you get so far down inside, and they do a good job of optioning back away, and they soften up that corner. We got to be more aggressive with the outside backer. Sorry. Be more outside conscious. With that tight a split, be more outside conscious. So as he comes off, we want to work to his outside number here. This is different than because we're in backer force here, so it'll be a little different responsibility. Work to the outside number. See, as soon as he sits down like that, now the corner and the safety we got to go ahead and play. The corner play there, the outside backer really run hard outside, and the safety play hard inside. But it's a pretty good route against that particular coverage. And it hits the weakness of the route, or the coverage pretty good. Good execution by them as well. Here, good look at, take it back here. Here's a good picture, see, of the safety. See the safety showing inside and then working back into the slant area. And the quarterback then not wanting to throw the ball in there. Here's a better picture of the ball going weak side. The corner doing a better job of reading it. Should get a little bit more adjustment by the backer. Now here we get a foo bar. It should be strong the other way, or strong this way. And with the backer, we get it confused. Should have a lid. Cover the base. Base fronts we're going to be in, and we had basically have used two fronts. Dime shade, where we're going to be a 3 and a 1, basically to the tight end. All right, 3 and a 1 to the tight end. Put them in a 3 wide receiver set there. Going to show the two shell as much as possible. And in this case here, with the shade, the backer most of the time should be, I should have this drawn a little bit further over. But it'll be over there, stacked right behind the 1. The dime will be inside in relationship to what the situation is. More of a run type situation, they'll be in here more pass type situation, it'll be a little wider. It'll be over here, move with the backer. And a lot of times we'll show these guys over here and then a matter of everybody stemming. But we want to show a 3 and a 1. We want to dictate versus in run type situations, if we call this, we want to make sure we know where those two guys are. You know, we don't want them, pass rushing and so forth. When we call shade, or as I get down here dime gap or dime plus, we want these guys playing run. We don't want them racing up the field. We want the 7 technique. Instead of this guy being outside, we got him in the 7 technique, no defense. We want them to play run first and react to the pass. So again, to line this up here, the run type situation will be lined up there like that. All right, that's where we're going to work everything from. Okay. Now, at that point, now we'll work a lot of coverage things. Probably the first one to defend the run is we're going to play some sort of inside safety zone. And the easiest one for us to do is if the go what we call 58 inside strong. So we're going to go inside strong. We're going to bring the safety up based on the strength here. So we'll bring the safety up in here. We got our nickel player working here. Then we would cheat the backer away, and he'd be basically an A-gap player. We'd cheat him outside to a force position, and the free safety goes in the middle of the field. So we're just playing 3 deep zone with the safety coming up and working the same thing that we've done in the base 3-4. Again, let me put it on different. So we got the nickel, the dime, the backer within stem away, safety rock up, corner, free safety back, corner back to 1/3. Okay? Corner back to 1/3. So we're going to be in inside safety zone. We're going to get the 8th player up in the box here. We got our nose either in the tilt or in the shade, but he ought to be able to draw 2 blocks. We get to put the backer into the A gap. Now, we give these guys these rules. If I'm 2 or away, and we make what we call a Ralph Larry call. If I'm 2 or away from the Ralph Larry, if I'm to the Ralph Larry, I'm going to buzz, and away from the Ralph Larry, I play curl flat. And we might change that up week to week. The linebacker always has the zone away from the call, so he's got the weak hook. He's going to use a key drop technique where I'm going to start out and I'm going to read number 2 weak. If number 2 weak is releasing, I'm going to continue. If he's blocking, now I'll swing back to 3 strong. Okay? So if he's blocking, I'll swing back to 3 strong. Now, I've got the back offset far. Maybe with the far back offset, that's a pass tendency. Okay? And you're playing, say, in our case, Buffalo. And they got Thurman Thomas set over there far. They got 8 out of 10 times it's a pass. So then we'll have our safety. He'll hold this guy's a lot longer. And then he's just going to sit down in the 10 to 12 yard area and play pass from there. If the back's at home, we may tell him we want you up here at linebacker depth, and then he needs to get up in that 6 to 7 yard area to snap the football. And again, just based on the tendency of what they do out of the set, if they're giving you both looks. If they're in trips, now we're going to bring the safety zone over here. The nickel is always weak. The dime is always, or the nickel is always strong. The dime is always weak. Again, the same thing with the safety. Based on the backfield alignment and the formation will dictate how deep or how shallow he gets on his alignment and where we want him at the snap of the football. So now he's got this zone. It's a Larry call. The backer has the hook away. He's got the curl flat. He's got the buzz. Free safety still going to center field. Okay? So, again, you're picking up your 8th defender in the box. If you ran this with shade, we could also run it with just straight dime, and now our guys could get out there and rush. And now you talk about more pass situations.
So you would do this if it was 3rd and 6 and you thought they might run?
More like, yeah, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 to 4. And we thought there was a chance they might run. And again, the other thing to do is, is to play more 2 coverage look, and I'll show you that here.
Hey, Coach,
What would be the reason that your one wide player, your nickel, is going to go to widening out your numbers, whereas your diamond will curl to wide?
Because we're setting with a guy with deeper responsibility here, so he felt like that guy is going to help the corner more. In other words, we're over here, we're working with the linebacker. Okay, over here we thought we could, by cheating this guy and getting him out to the wider to the flat right now, we can have the safety sit and hold deeper on number 2. Okay, so the 2 to, basically the corner's playing a looser 1/3, where here you got to play a little tighter 1/3 because you're working with the backer, so any combination, particularly if it's 2 and 2. If it's trips, it's obviously not a big deal. But if it's 2 and 2 like we had up here, and we're working over here, we can buzz this. Now we get this guy hanging on 2 more. Okay, and over here we got to play basically 1/3 zone, and we're working with the backer coming to you. And that's why we changed the 2 technique. We felt like we're giving the one corner help by taking away the out, and then we're hanging the safety inside to help him on the post of the curl. So he can play looser 1/3. And, you know, the double moves and things like that should never be a problem for him. Okay. So again, those are our. That was the basis of our 3D zone stuff. And then if we got the 2D coverage. Your 2D coverage will complement everything that you're doing with the 3D. So now we're going to play a weak and strong based on the strength. And again, our corner now is still reading through 2. If we're the strong corner and we get 2 up the field, we know right now I'm playing pass and I'm sinking inside. I'm going to basically man-to-man inside number 1. The nickel player is working to an outside leverage on number 2. Safety's working a deep 1/2. The backers know he has to carry any 2 or 3 up the field vertically, as long as 1's up the field. So we're cheating the zone this way. If number 2 goes to the flat, the nickel's going to take it. If number 2's up the field, he's collapsing with him, he's turning him over to the backer, he's waiting to relate to the next thing. So if you get a lot of back offset, combination routes where he's clearing here, he's to the flat, and he's hooking, you get the corner sinking under number 1, the nickel player taking the back to the flat, and the backer working inside number 2, working up the field with the safety over the top. And you kind of get the strong side, again, combination stuff handled, just like we're doing in the Oakland defense. Okay? On the back side, we're again playing the weak side of cover 2, where we're playing a vertical hook responsibility, where he's reading 2 out to 1 to make sure if 1's up the field and 2's up the field, checking 1, if he's up, now I'm running. The corner knows if he gets 2 up the field, he wants to play softer, he can harden him if he comes to the flat. And your safety's playing over the top 1/2. Okay, so again, we're playing a weak and strong concept with that. And then what we'll do based on the threat of number 2, I mean, we've taken our nickel and basically dogged him on number 2 and done different things that way. And
What do you use to determine strength?
in this, 2 wideouts. If it's 4 wideouts, we'll declare a guy or the offset back, depending on what, you know, as you look at what they do. But here, it's the 2 wide receivers declare strength. Okay, 2 wide receivers. Now, if they motion or go to trips, and again, we kind of fool around with doing this a lot of different ways as far as the alignment of the nickel and the backer. Sometimes we'll take the nickel, the backer over, and leave the dime backside just to kind of screw up a tendency of what we've been doing. And now we're still playing strong here, so he's playing a sink. He's playing a squat. He's playing the buster technique, so he has the first thing to the flat. He's playing the inside and deepest of 2 and 3. He's playing 1/2. 1/2. Now he's our vertical hook player, he's our squat player. So we're getting the same combination strong now, we're just bringing the dime over to do it. So if we get vertical up the field, he's running, he goes to the flat, he picks him up, he's sinking under 1. We're jamming and we're playing inside and running there.
They ran motion out of that. Would you run the nickel with them or the dime over?
We run the nickel. We run the nickel, we go strong right. Okay? We go strong right. So again, the way we play 2 cover allows you to jump on the strong side combination rounds pretty good and get an extra defender in there. By sinking that corner underneath, taking the guy to the flat, get a lot of press out stuff that people like to run, you know. So you got to, and this complements man under. When you play man under, now you're inside and then running everything away from you. And you play the 2 cover the way we play 2 cover really complements that, because now you got number 2 strong working to an outside leverage here. He's playing there. You guys play the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
We don't play. You don't play up. Oh, okay. No, that worked. That's great. So we're working to an outside leverage here, which is really going to complement if you were playing man under. You know, you're playing man under, press out, and those type things are good routes. But you're playing this when he presses out, that guy's overrunning him. He comes back inside and options. This guy's sitting inside him, so they complement each other with the coverage, which is good. And then then to really throw another wrinkle is zone automatic. And what we're going to do here is we're going to check this coverage based on the formation. So we're 2 and 2. Over here a little more. But 2 and 2 formation now, we're going to play quarters. 2 and 2 formation like this, we're going to play quarters. So we're going to jam and work on number 2 outside in. We're going to play 3 receiver hook with the backer. We're going to work the outside leverage on 2 here, and we're going to be reading 2, reading inside of 1, reading inside of 2, reading inside of 1. Okay? So we're going to play a quarters concept in the back with 2 and 2. If they motion across the trips, and we just go to a route or Larry zone, the way I got it here, he slides out, he's got the buzz, he goes to 1/3. He comes up, plays the Larry technique, he goes to the back in here, 1/3. He's got the curl flat, he's our key dropper because they've gone to trips. If this guy blocks, he swings back to 3 strong. If he releases, we get ready to play the high-low concept weak. Okay? So what we've done is we've combination of quarters and taken the Ralph Larry thing that we're playing 58 inside strong, and think it gives you the best thing against both worlds. Okay? Because you get in quarters, the one thing when they get the trips, you're a little bit concerned with the backside guy, is how you're playing that, how you're playing number 3 if you get 4 verticals when you're in quarters, and this kind of complements it and gives you a 3D zone where you've got that taken care of. You got 2 taken care of. And then we played some what we call 54, which would be just quarters versus all formations. And so that kind of gives you kind of a coverage breakdown of how we kind of set things up and work them on 3rd down. But the biggest thing I think is what I started with first was the 58 inside strong is a good thing to stop the run. And using him as the 8th defender up in there. So those 2 things, and then the 2 deep zone on 3rd down.
Marvin, what would you do when they have those tight clusters of 3 receivers in a, just go like that zone automatic?
Yeah, if we got like a bunch, just open out of the box here. If we got a bunch deal here, then we'd like to be in some sort of inside safety zone. And the reason being here And also the two coverage is not bad. But you get that safety working up into here. You got him working on the outside. You got him working on the deepest level. You got the free safety working here. A lot of times, because they're bunching over here, they're releasing, free releasing. So you pick this guy up, working on the shallow option. You get some sort of combination there like that. So he's working there. He's holding on the corner. He's bracketing this side of the option. He's bracketing the inside of the option. And you got the dime player backside. You see what I'm getting at there? So we like that type of stuff. The way we play two cover, it's also not bad against this. And they get them bunched up in there because you got the nickel outside. The corner basically will play almost like the same because he'll sink and he'll play off of what's going on there. So let's run the option here. Let's take him to the flat. Let's maybe run him behind it. So he'll play there, he'll play that, and then you got the backer or the dime in this case. Dime will be working and playing on that right now. And you got the backer still sitting backside, depending on what's happening with the back. If he gets 4 strong, he can lean that way also. So you get the same thing matched up based on whatever. You get this guy running the flat, nickels all over it. You got the corner bracketing, whatever happening there. You may get double inside. Now the corner's squeezing it down, and you have the dime being able to overplay that because the safety, again, a lot of times in this defense, you're going to pick up the safety a lot quicker against these formations because they're not running a lot of people vertically. So the safety has nothing, he's going to start to his sprint point, and then he's going to be sitting down and be able to relate to those routes a little closer, and you still have the backside, which enables the dime player to really overcommit this here because the backer's still sitting backside. And so, I mean, those two things really complement each other. And so what we don't want to do is a lot of man-to-man where they can get you rubbed and picked out of there. If we get in caught with a man-to-man situation, a lot of times what people will do is they'll put the tight end out here on the ball and then bring the receivers here. If we're in a man-to-man situation, what we're going to do is we're going to play levels. We're going to get this guy up on number 2, per se, okay? We're going to back this corner off. We're going to back the dime off here. So we're going to be able to read and play the route. So we're going to take this here and take that away. And now as he comes up, be able to work really and pass these two things off with these two guys. So they're going to play almost a zone concept in there and almost what we call a sambo there between those two players. And you still got your free safety, basically working over the top. Okay. So by doing that, or a strong safety if it's a man underneath. But by doing that, you got a chance to you got one guy you take away, and then you got the other two guys bracketed. And by doing that like that, by playing level, get a good work at that. But we don't play a lot of man. We didn't play a lot of man on third down, so we don't get in that situation very much, which is good. All right. Are there any other questions about those things there? All right. Be back again when? All right. The 8-man fronts and how we got into that, and I kind of wanted to just take some time this morning and show you that, and then progress into some individual technique things of zone coverage, man coverage, tackling, stripping the ball. I think those will, and then we'll get into some more of the pressure stuff later today with the 3-4 defense. and then the dime defense tomorrow morning. So that's kind of the progression I wanted to follow through today. The first thing would be is getting us into our 8-man front concept. And I kind of put this on the board for you a couple of times yesterday, but let's take a look here. That our base alignment here would be here, and I'm gonna group this right now with what we're going to call cover 63. We're going to call this front eagle plus open, down the open side backer, he's in the charge. Me, meaning me, I have contained, and we're going to group that a double digit with 63. Okay? And what that's going to do is we're going to tell our open side rusher, he's in the charge. We have a plus technique for our nose guard, and eagle obviously is we're going to be a reduction of the open side. Okay? Cover 6 is a quarter concept here. We played this as an inside man-to-man, but we'll define it as a quarter. We're going to play cloud, and we're going to play half the field there. Okay? Half the field there. Now, as far as the linebacker responsibilities, and I'm going to do this kind of conversely from how I would normally teach it to the players, because to the players, I would teach the players buzz drop, curl flat drop, hook curl, so forth, so that they already knew the drop, or at least have a fundamental understanding of the drop before we get into much defense, okay, if I had the time. And I think by doing that, then you can apply those things just as we did last night with the run techniques of basic, gap, bird, and scrape, and you can apply those to your front. We do the same things with the coverages. Okay, is teach the drop and what that drop means, my force that comes with that drop, and my progression read is responsibility. But right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say we're going to buzz here, okay? And I'll quickly tell you what that means. That means I'm going to be in backer force, and I'm going to work to the stem of the wide receiver at a point 3 to 5 yards off the line of scrimmage on the stem of the wide receiver, which would be number 1. We're going to play 3 receiver hook with the buck linebacker there, which means I'm going to match inside and underneath the 3rd receiver to the strong side. And we're going to play vertical hook with the backside backer because he's got a 2 deep half the field concept working over there where he's got to be in position to carry number 2 vertically up the field. With the double-digit calls, and 6 is obviously versus pro set, 3 versus a slot. So if we got motion across the field to slot, now we would go to sky, come back to 1/3. We'd be a read backer over here, and we'd be in 1/3 defense on the backside. So if we got motion across where they aligned in the slot formation, we'd be at the 2nd digit. We'd still have the open rusher. We'd now be in read force, corner. We'd go free safety, strong safety, corner. If they align this way, if they motion to it, the free safety would just rock up and play the way we did it. All right, we would just rock it. But now we're in free coverage, we're in read, we're in open rusher here, we got sky force here, we're 1/3, 1/3, outside 1/3.
They come out and slot Marvin and they motion back to pro.
They
Are
come,
you going to check it to 6?
then we're going to go to 6, we're going to slide, we're going to work out, we're going to move the backer force here, we're going to come back to half the field, we're going to give him what we call a ray call, it's time to go back and cloud it. Okay, so we're going to go back to 6. All right, and that's kind of the progression of defense that we use to go back and forth from 6 to 3. And this, for the last 2 years, if we say, what is the base front of the Pittsburgh Steelers, what you'd be in, you'd see this right here. Okay? Eagle plus open knee 63. Now, what we had to adjust a little bit to this year when we lost Rod is we had to go to more 2 coverage. So we had the double digits with 23. Where we were just playing the 2 coverage concept here, so we'd be rolled up both sides. We didn't feel like we could leave our corner out there all day long with the pressure of the 6 coverage being a quarters technique or inside man-to-man, basically how we defined it for him. We played our, and so we went to more 2 coverage, okay? We went to more 2 coverage. And the thing that we found at the end of the season is we went through and did our self-scout for the season is our 23 coverage, I think averaged about 2.3 yards a snap, which was excellent. And that's the thing that you want to have. So when you play 2 coverage, again, now what you're working with now is you're going to have to bring. And again, if you have any questions, please stop me. Just like with our players, what seems so simple and easy for some of us, you know, as I'm just going through this quickly. When we're playing 2 coverage, what we're basically saying is if we get number 2 blocking on the backer, now this guy becomes a run support player and a safety basically responsible for number 1. So we're giving that safety an alignment of about 12 yards to the snap of the football. We want to work him off of the pro hash mark, 3 yards outside the pro hash mark, which will put you about the normal college hash, okay, if we go 3 yards outside of our hash. And he's going to go to a sprint point of 22 yards on the snap of the football. And he's going to work to 3 yards to the top of the number, okay? And that's the point we're giving that guy. So we're working from 12 to 22 yards. We're opening up and we're seeing number 1. Because if number 2 is blocking, then the corner is getting ready to play run. He's got no responsibility on number 1. If number 2 is up the field, now our corner is playing a squat technique, or as we do it, we play it as a sink technique, and we play inside man-to-man on that guy, just like we play man-under. So we cheat the zone that way. We always want to cheat the, you know, we're always cheating. And that's how we cheat cover 2, and we play that guy in inside underneath technique man-to-man on number 1 if number 2 is up the field. We give the backer the responsibility. He takes 2 or 3. If they go to the flat, he takes 2 or 3 to the flat. So when we get the strong side combination route, we've cheated our zone. If we get a curl, and let's bring this guy up the field and vertically, we're bringing here. We're going to carry here. We're going to sink underneath the curl, and we're going to take the back to the flat. So we're going to get that strong side combination route. The thing that you see over there, strong side, we're going to get it matched up as though we're playing man-to-man. And what would be a weakness to cover 2 of trying to get your backer out to the curl, we turn into a strength for us. All right? Now, same thing here. This guy, tackle, reaches inside. Now this corner is coming. We're working again to number 1. This tackle pass sets. Now the corner's playing the squat technique. He's jamming 2. We'd like to follow him to the outside. Working, if we can get him inside, we would, but if we have to get outside, we want to get outside, and then we're going to turn back here. We don't want our guys to flip and turn their back on the quarterback, okay? It's just a technique we taught, and half the people you talk to will say the other way. They don't care. But our base technique is we wanted to jam him, and if he went outside, which you can't keep a guy from going outside. You can't say that. He's going to go outside sometimes on your corner. But then we wanted the wheel, and we wanted to stay with width. We wanted to stay with width because we wanted, again, to help that weakness of the coverage. And everybody knows where the weakness of cover 2 is. It's out here in these areas. We've already taken this away on that side. Now we want to get this guy, if this guy outside releases on me, I want to get width to help in that throwing window behind him. Okay? Our inside linebacker now in cover 2 has responsibility we call the middle read. And he's going to have the deepest of 2 and 3 up the field vertically. Okay? And basically working on 2 most of the time, unless they get the trips, then they got a chance to get, he may have to work across 3 and go to 2 up the field vertically. All right? Now, if number 1 is not up the field, then he has no up the field responsibility because the safety can basically match number 2 by himself. All right? And then his drop would turn in, just like in 6 coverage, it would turn into 3 receiver hook because he doesn't have a vertical responsibility to take care of it once number 1 is not up the field. On the back side of cover 2, it plays just the same as cover 6, so there's no change over there for that MAC backer. He still has a vertical hook responsibility, which means I'm inside of 2. If number 1's up the field and 2's up the field, I'm running with 2 vertically up the field. If number 1 is sitting down, I can sit down and zone off inside of number 2. But if I am getting double stretch here, maybe they're in the backs are set weak, and he's going up the field vertically, and he's up the field, then I'm running. Okay? But if number 2 or number 1 is sitting down, you get a China and maybe a 7. He can drop, react to the China. The corner will position into the backside into the 7 cut. So as far as how we're cheating and playing cover 2, we know we got to pick up the corners in the run, all right, because we don't have our safeties involved. Our safeties are basically responsible for number 1. anytime number 2 blocks. Any questions on that? So again, we talked about 6, and then the complement to 6 is 2. And again, going through, we're 1/4 reading over top. Now, the one thing that we do differently than most people, we play post curl. We want to take care of the post first and the curl secondly. You see some people that play these coverages now, your quarters type coverages where they're getting 4 across, and they're playing curl post. We don't want to give up the home run, okay? When you play curl post, you better have 2 ass kickers out here at corner. All right, because you're really putting a lot of pressure on them versus play action pass. Because in play action pass, they're all by themselves. All they got to do is block that tight end. You get this guy coming up. They do any type of aggressive protection on the backside, and they fool your safety. Now you're playing basically a 2-deep coverage with the guys being outside, you know, on the number 1. So they better get their tails on the inside technique. All right. So 6 and 23. Again, that will adjust the same thing versus the slot. Now, the other complement to what we're doing here out of the front, we're going to call special 7. And this is going to be an adjustable coverage, man-to-man. We're still in the Eagle Plus front. We still have an open rusher. Okay? If it's eye or split, these guys are man-to-man, basically with outside technique. Unless the split gets so wide or we want them inside or we get trips away from them, then we'll go to an inside technique with the corners. Versus eye or near eye, the strong safety will have the tight end responsibility. Okay? Versus eye or near eye, we're giving the strong safety the tight end responsibility. Versus split backs, we're going to give the free safety the open side back. Corners don't change, obviously. Now the strong safety is going middle of the field. All right? And we're going to play a 3-on-2 with the linebackers on the tight end and offset back, and we call this a 3-way. The Sam backer or the closed outside backer is going to give a you-me call based on the release of the tight end, which is going to tell the next backer, you got the tight end. He can go to outside leverage on that tight end because he's backed up by a free player. All right? So this becomes your free player. Your linebackers now are bossed over to the tight end. When I drew up this thing here, we were basically bowed, and I probably should have had a little bit more like this, bowed away from it because our extra defender was coming up here. All right? Our extra defender is on this side over here, and now he's over here. Okay? If you look at it. All right, so again, we're getting to the 8-man front concept. We're playing this one now with man. At times we'll go up and we'll press the corners and make this start out and make it look like 2, and then the corners will just walk. The corners will stay in the press and play man-to-man from the press. All right, and again, we're getting to the